Hey, Carl. Hey, Todd. How's it going? We got Phil. Must be riding to work. Just figured I would hop on here this evening. Surprise, surprise, right? Hey, Steven. Good to see you. And figure out we could talk about some bees. I got the link already posted, I think. Oh, I do. Hold on. Let me pin it. There we go. Now it's pinned. Should be pinned to the top of the chat. So don't be a stranger. You know, you're always welcome in here. Hey, Silver Gorilla. And let's talk about it. Whatever you guys want to talk about. We've got still rain here. Supposedly supposed to be clearing up. But let's see how that actually looks. Yep, supposed to be stopping rain here around midnight, and supposed to clear up is what they're saying. So maybe things will dry out. And here's the other thing. Hey, Vince Gagne, good to see you. I'm thinking that tomorrow could be a bad day. After several days of rain, you know, they like to swarm. So we'll see. I don't know. I haven't been able to get in them. We'll see what it's like. So we're trying to see what's going to happen. Hopefully no swarms. But I've got a bunch of bees just chilling out. Even in the rain, they're still just hanging out on the front. Man, my hair looks crazy. Sorry, guys. Just hanging out on the front of the colonies because it is so, I guess, humid. I guess that's what we're fighting, humidity. And it's looking like 94% humidity right now. Of course, it's raining, so it would make sense there's more moisture in the air, right? Hey, Tim. Hey, Darren. Randy, good to see you. Stuffy. It's just been a crazy week, you know. However, there was no flooding in the drain today. Mixing used pads in water and putting those in a sprayer. It probably would kill the weeds. Probably would kill the weeds, Stephen. I don't know. I don't know if it would, but if it did it just sitting there. And I sent Charlie a text. Don't know what Charlie's doing. Don't know what any of you guys are doing tonight. Just decided to go ahead and go live for a few minutes. Here's a question. Put in the chat how much honey yield you've got so far this year. And right now, I've got a ton to pull, guys, and I haven't pulled it all, but I'll start it off. I'm at 200 pounds. That's where I'm at. So put in numbers in the chat. Tim and Hannah haven't pulled any yet. Put in. You haven't extracted yet either, Stephen? Philip, 0. Okay, few minutes beat 3 hours. Yeah, right. It depends, man. Between work and everything else that's going on, it's been kind of rough lately. I need to get things going. I did have somebody stopping by, $30 worth of honey. So 175 pounds so far. Okay. Are you finished or you still have some going? Hey, Danette. So some of you guys I know are up north. So matter of fact, we should have done how much you've pulled and where you're located. That would have probably been a better one. That way we can kind of go, oh, well, they haven't pulled yet because, you know, Mike's in Vermont. So, yeah, you're still getting going up there. Well, you know, Charlie's in Maryland, and he's already pulled all his. He says his is done. So, I don't know. Mine haven't been flying, but until they stopped flying, they were still bringing it in. Stuffy's got 200 too. So yeah, so that's the main thing, is that, kind of get an idea. No judgment. Some people have 2 colonies, some people have 50 colonies, so there's going to be different amounts. Eugene pulls all his after July 4th. See, and that's typically when I would pull at the end of June or July, and I've pulled a few. Full deeps for $14 in North Dakota. For $14? Oh, I saw that. That's really Texas Bee Supply's commercial operation. But if it costs me $500 to get it here, then they're $19 a box, right? So that's what I'm. I saw that ad. And then by the time the ad runs, it's like I got to call them, and then that doesn't end up happening. Might be able to work a deal with them or something. Work a deal out with them. But so to give you an idea, the Fox Plus effect. Fox Plus did come in last night, and he dropped a ton of viewers in the channel. Is what it looked like. However, YouTube doesn't show it as that many views, so I don't know how that works. So you're pulling in September in Ontario. I talked to James a little while ago. He's still out working in the bee yard. He said he's going to call me in a little while, so maybe he just jumps in when he sees we're on here. 350 and 15 more supers to pull. Nice. I still got 50 supers on colonies. But I know not all of those are full. Now, after all this rain, they may have been eating a lot of it too, if they did have it full. So we'll see. Yeah, so I only got a few subs last night. It was like, hold on, I'll tell you exactly the Fox Plus effect. Let's go to dashboard. It says last night's chat had 269 views. Charlie!
Hey.
How's it going?
Oh, not too bad.
Man, you've been busy. You can't be busy. We got bee chats to do.
Well, I'm glad I got the first round of honey supers done because I need a break.
The first round, you still got, but they're in your building, right? Or are they in the freezer? Where are you storing them?
No, I mean, what I'm saying, I got another 28 or 30 more supers to pull off the hives. And then I pulled, I think around 12. And
I had a guy show up today.
Hey, Steve.
And he bought a couple pints. So I did give him my quart price on those, but of course it's raining, so I went out in the rain and took him one, and he gave me a jar with a 20, and I'm like, oh, I need to go get you some change. I came back in, I came out, and he had more money in his hand. He said, you know what, just give me another jar. So now I'm walking back in to get another jar to come out, but hey, it was some money. We got some money out of it. But like this, when you look at the Fox Plus effect there, it's showing that it's got 265 views. However, that's the live replay, and it's got 1,100 likes on it, which it didn't show us the likes last night. So I don't know what happened, but at any rate, it looks better. I mean, I don't know what happened.
I want to say, hey, Todd. Hey, Randy.
And, all of those talks we had with James and Brad, neither one of them two fellas gave up that James was loading up those colonies to take to Brad. so that was pretty interesting to see.
I was wondering whether that was a sort of a surprise for Brad.
I don't know. It was a surprise for me. I know that much. And I watched a video just a little while ago. Looks like some good bees. You know, he said 5 or 6 frames of brood in each box.
Yeah, James has got it right on. He definitely knows what he's doing. That's for sure.
And so it was a nice little thing. So I have to give props to back to what we were talking about last night a little bit with the current news. Got to give props to the Canadian Coast Guard / Navy, the U.S. Navy, U.S. Coast Guard for that submarine or submersible thing. Unfortunately, they found him or found debris, so there are no survivors on that trip, which is pretty much what my feeling was. But you know, on the news they can't say they're dead. You know, they can't just do that. But that was my feeling from the beginning.
Well, I mean, I really didn't know much about it until a couple of days ago, and I got to investigating into it. And then there was a guy that came and bought some lumber, and he was talking about like the guidance system was on an Atari Nintendo,
PlayStation
controller, and then I watched a couple YouTube news videos, and they said that the glass bubble that's in the front of this thing, it was rated for 4,000 feet, and they're going down 12,000 feet. You know, it's like, where is your head at? I mean, engineering wise, you know.
Well, from everything they're saying is that they probably didn't even know there was a problem, and then it just crushed, and they were instantly dead. So, I guess.
Yeah, but what I'm getting at is you got a vessel here that you're building it. Well, if you know that you're going down that depth, you got to build it to specs in order to, or overbuild it actually.
Mm-hmm.
And it didn't sound like they did that. And the guy who was doing it, from what I've learned, he did a lot of shortcuts and no certifications and stuff like that.
Well, he kind of got around it by doing everything in international waters, right? And not flying a flag on the vessel, right? Mm-hmm. Stuff like that. It's like, oh, well, we're not an American ship, so we don't have to follow those U.S. rules. And, unfortunately, there was people died in it. But, again, when you're doing that kind of thing, you're signing those. I'm sure they make you sign those papers that say, hey, if we get crushed in this submarine, you can't hold us liable, so unfortunately that's just what it is. No dead air. That's right. NDA.
What do you mean by that?
Oh, every night we're live every night, and so
that's the way it is. I mean, there's nothing you can do about it. But
I was trying to find this Cooks and Beals on Facebook Marketplace. I'm assuming that's where he saw it from.
What's that?
120 frame extractor for $35,000 or 3,500, I think, is what he wrote on there.
I thought Cooks and Beal only did wax separators.
I don't know. Maybe it's an older one if they're selling it like that. What I was looking for, I can't find it. Let me see. Beekeeping. It may not be a marketplace. It might just be in a group post or something. Let's see. Cook and Beal.
So it's still raining down there?
Heck yeah.
It's trying to rain here a little bit. I have a shed out here as where I store my boxes and stuff. And so it was kind of misty, and then it looked like it was always going to rain. So I put the supers, the wet supers, in the building. Now it's got like at least a 4-foot opening, as far as a door. and the bees were in there all day long, licking them clean. And I was surprised they actually were flying, but it did stop raining during most of the day.
I went out into the honey house and opened the gate on the uncapping table, and guess what happened? A bunch of honey came running out. It's like it's the gift. It just keeps giving honey.
Yeah,
Out of those cappings. I just flipped them
I
all
got
over. Jostled
I
them
got
around.
the cap. I got a little bit of a little pile of cappings, the A big, in my hive butler, and there's about at least a half an inch to an inch in the bottom. It's covering the whole tank, so it's a good little bit of honey in there, and all that over a period of 3 days. And all I did remember I was telling you about that honey getting that kind of a weird look to it, it wasn't clear. And I just got my ABJ magazine here, and it talks about that, and said that it could possibly be that the fact that the room is cold, the honey is cold. They're talking about if you have honey and you can't get it out of the comb, you need to heat it up. That's where Bob and Benny and all them guys have them hot rooms, which the only thing I know, a friend of mine, a guy that was actually, I took some of his classes years ago, and he took some styrofoam, I'll say at least 2-inch, basically encapsulated the let's say 15 or 20 supers, and put a heat lamp in there, light bulb, and that's how he warmed his supers up.
Now look at this. This is way cheap in my opinion, but hey, it's not my honey. But this is down by Larimore and Michael Buck. They got cut comb honey.
Yeah.
Inside the jar. $18 a pint with the comb in it. He could get $12 for the comb and $15, even if he went $15 for the pint. That is extremely.
And that's what a pound and a half.
Well,
of honey.
He's saying it's a.
No, but the jar holds what? Jar. How much does that jar hold in poundage?
1.5 without the honeycomb in it.
So a pound and a half. Yeah. So that's $15 right there, easy, all day long.
Right, and then that's probably a 2x4 piece of chunk comb in there.
Well, just that ain't chunk comb. That there to me
that's cut comb honey.
That's cut comb honey.
Chunk,
and
chunk.
That's a $20 piece of honey right there all day long.
And
around here.
Oh, I've got people that ask me for it all the time, and I don't typically do it, but if I have a blowout or something and I have some nice chunks, then maybe I'll make a jar or two,
Yeah, but usually what they'll do is they'll take a frame, let's say it's a medium frame instead of a shallow, and they'll cut whatever fits in those plastic containers, and then they usually have a little strip on the bottom of the cut comb, what's left over, and that's what they put in the jars and all that. But I don't understand what the fascination with that is anyway.
Yeah, that's the I mean, it's a nice presentation, but again, that's a lot of product for a little bit of money. And judging by the honey there, I don't think that top box is full. So he's got 1, 2, maybe 24, 28. No, 28, 32. He's got about 32 right there. So, in my opinion, this person could pretty much double their money if they took the comb out, filled it full of honey, and then sold the comb separate from the honey.
Yeah.
But
especially for that big of a piece in there, because like I say, they would take a frame and they would cut whatever the 4 inches wide or whatever it is,
mm-hmm.
and then they would have about a 2-inch strip on the bottom left over. That's what they would put in the jars of cut comb or chunk honey, you know. But I don't know. I mean, what does people get? I know that most of the public that don't know, they think that the honey came out of that comb when it doesn't.
Oh, that's all capped comb.
Yeah.
Very nice looking comb too in the thing.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, well, that's cheap.
Depends on where you're located, I guess. Depends on the price wise.
Well, the thing is, he's selling the pint for the same thing that we sell pints for, like $15 to $18. But I guess because he's putting the comb in there, he's not putting as much honey in. But
yeah, but look, but the value of the wax, and there's honey in the wax,
right? And maybe they just make a bunch of honey. I don't know. It's kind of interesting, and all that's because I was looking for the cook and Beal.
Look at all the work it's put into that. And then that comb area, you got to freeze it first, kill all the bugs, all the eggs and whatever, and then you put it in the jar, and then you fill it up with honey, with liquid honey around it.
Ed says buy it and double your money. Then no, you can double your money if the comb was never put in. You have to separate it. Now that it's in, it's kind of a little bit different.
What's Paul talking about?
At this time of year, supply is going to be ramping up. It's Keynesian economics. So this time of year, everybody's got honey, right? All your smaller suppliers have honey, so they're going to sell out, and then all the other guys are going to have money or have honey, and
I don't know.
It's going to be.
I don't see where there's a backyard beekeeper on every street corner either.
Right.
There's more of them now than ever because beekeeping is one of the in things.
But it's it's interesting though. So I mean, they're over by where Michael Buck and Larimore is. So I figured that they would have a similar price, but that's the first one I've really seen with the comb in it. And then that's what they're going with. So good deal.
Selling cords for $15. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous.
I'm not even in that group. That's why I couldn't see it. Let me join group and probably have to answer. Yep. Am I a commercial beekeeper? Sort of. I don't know. My definition of commercial and someone else's definition.
You're a sideliner. You're a sideline. It's a sideline business. $15 for and half gallons for $25.
See you later, Ed.
I'd be going over there and buying all the cords he's got for $15 a piece. Double your money.
On cords for how much?
$15.
For 15 and a half gallons for 25. He is killing my sales. Does he have a bunch of colonies?
Tell him you'll go over there and buy it in the buckets and we won't even have to use it. If you're going to give it to you at a great price like that. So it's been misting, and yesterday it was raining pretty nice all afternoon. It wasn't a downpour. It was sort of a nice steady rain. You could really tell what the fields greened up right nice.
Well, they have received my
see you later, Silver.
Now we'll see if I can get in the group or not. If the beekeeping gods deem me worthy, I just got a text message asking no live tonight. We are live. Look at your notifications.
Who was that from?
From Morgan, Salty Dog Apiaries. But so I'll see if I get the approval so I can see the equipment. Let me see. He has 15 colonies. I'm mad he'll sell out, and then you'll be the one. And then they'll be like, why is he selling so cheap? Because he don't know what he's doing. So I think when people, they don't do the conversion all the time correctly, right? They do it by the ounces. Well, a quart is how many ounces? Let me see. Quart in fluid ounces. A quart in fluid ounces is 32, so that's 2 pounds. So if he's selling 2 pounds for how much? $15, $7 a pound, and he's got to buy the jar. So I don't know.
Now here's a guy here at Altoona, AL. What's that? Alabama. Anyway, I'm looking on Facebook on their beekeepers buy sell trade. Anyway, 100% raw honey, treatment free, no chemicals. Well, yeah, I mean, you know, but they $10 for a pound, I think it says.
Right.
What the hell is this? Or some guy up in Vermont's got a Max Ant honey filter and basket. $400 for that thing.
Morgan, we were just talking about you. You sent me a text and I was already live. Check your notifications, sir. Check them. But yeah, so we're just trying to dry out around here, but I'm worried that tomorrow, when it does dry out, my bees are going to try to hit the trees or something. And I got a message from Phil here. Let's see. Yeah. Hey, Philip, I'm all over that, man. That's there's a guy selling said business just listed for sale. Very successful turnkey honeybee farm, wholesale and retail business in Wisconsin. $3.8 million. Buyer pre-approval and confidentiality statement required. Yeah, that's out of my league, sir. Out of my league. Way
here's
out.
Here's a guy in Vermont. He's got a 20 frame Max Ant. What's $1,400? Got a new motor on it, it says.
How old is it?
Oh, it looks pretty new.
I mean, you figure, you know, everybody talks about that American made, and then you look at them. Oh, it's got a new motor on it. Why's it got a new motor? Well, the old one died. Well, why'd the old one die?
Well,
I mean, they do run out. I mean, it's wear and tear, right? Eventually, you're going to have an issue. But I'm just poking fun at it. Let me see. Let me see. Where's this guy at? Erie, Pennsylvania. You might know him. You know anybody in Erie, Pennsylvania?
No. Why? What's he up there?
He's got a jar of honey. He says it's still full of air. It looks like it's full of dirt to me, but I mean, I won't show his his deal there, but I will show the entire screen so you can see the honey, his name, because someone might be a hater or something. But yeah, that honey has some bubbles in it, but it looks like it's got a bunch of piece particles in it too. I mean, looks kind of chunky to me.
Looks like it's what do you call it? Crystallizing, maybe.
It just harvest that. And
Really?
look, I mean, you guys get honey that light up that way?
Yeah, mine will be that light, but not with all that crud in there. Mine looks like that, my new stuff.
Oh, I know it's not a smooth glass, but if you look up at the lip up here, there's a bunch of particles floating in it too. But I don't know. Do any of you guys leave your lids off your jars before you like when you bottle it? Do you leave the lid off the jar? Or you put it on immediately.
Put it on immediately.
That's usually what I do too, because I'm just figuring about the air bubbles being able to escape, but they can't really escape if you got the lid on there, right? Because it's kind of pressured.
I don't know, Michael. Let me see. You mean, I guess he's looking for that Max Ant. Actually, it was MM. What's that, Minnesota?
Yeah, MN is Minnesota, yeah. My spring honey is so clear you could read a newspaper through it. The guy who came tonight, he's like, oh, the last honey I got was a little bit darker. Yep, it's all about the bees, what they get. Don't have nothing to do anything else. Let me see. Yeah, that's pretty clear too. Morgan's honey is really clear. It looks like moonshine clear. That's this year. Look how clear his is. It's like water white.
Yeah, I have seen that.
And he's in Indiana.
Yeah, there was a friend of mine, he got some, I'm gonna say it was pure locust, and it was like a cloudy, he didn't know what it was really. It was cloudy white,
right,
or a murky looking, and people said, what is that, sugar water, at where he was selling, and I says, no. He said, no. He said, I don't know what it is, but
I get the same thing when the guy right up the road, my honey's light, but it's still like an amber color. And 4 miles down the road, his is much darker than mine. And but it's a it is what it is. It's just different areas. He lives more close to the city than I do, so he's got more neighborhoods with whatever flowers they're planting and stuff around him, and so just a different nectar sources, right?
Yeah. Who was it? Was looking for the Max Ant.
Michael.
Okay. It's in Vermont. Looks pretty, it looks like it's been around town for a while, but
we'll share it.
How do you do that?
Just like you do on your stream. Present, share screen or whatever.
How do you share a Facebook thing?
Well, it's on a screen, right? So it's either a window or the whole screen. You only got one screen, right? So,
yeah, here we go.
There you go. And then I'll just
you see it
right there. Yep, Max Ant 20.
He wants $1,000 for it.
Full screen.
But it looks
Castleton, Vermont. Is it a? It's a.
There's one.
Yes, motorized.
Not a bad.
Rusted in there. Look at that thing's rusted.
Yeah, it looks like it's been around for a while. It's like I got a dent in the side of it. And let's get out of that. There's another one here. There's date ant. There it is.
Where's that one at? That one still got the cover on it and everything.
Yeah, this is like brand new. Pine City, Minnesota. $1,400. Can you see that? There we go. And then you got that. That's what it looks like. Looks like he had an issue here where he cut the damn side out of it.
And then welded it back?
Yeah, that's what it looks like to me. Looks cleaner than the other one. There's the motor. I don't know what that is.
It's a heat lamp. So he must set that on top to heat his honey. Or no, he sets his extractor on that or his bottling tank?
Yeah, I guess his bottling tank. Now he put the extractor on there. But see how he took and he put a bigger pipe on there? He's cut that thing out.
10 or 20 frame. It says 10/20. So
yeah,
10 deeps, 20 mediums.
10 deeps and 20 mediums. He says in here 20 shallows. They're not shallows, they're mediums. Unless he's using shallows. You know, there's a box.
50% deposit. Free shipping within 50 miles. For orders of 200 or more. Where is he located at?
Douglas, Georgia. Close to home.
200. That'd be at $12 a piece, $2,400, right?
Hell, you could go down there, Bob, and buy them pick it up yourself.
Douglas is, I think, near Atlanta.
Well, but I mean, you're in South Carolina. It can't be that far.
Let's see. Distance to, it says free shipping within 50 miles. I'll just meet him 50 miles closer to me. Hey, you drive an hour this way and I'll meet you.
Well, how far is it from your house?
It's just Douglas, right? Not Douglasville.
Douglas, Georgia.
Douglas, Georgia. Oh, that's down. That's 4.5 hours away. 250 miles.
All right. Well, there you go.
I'd be like, meet me in Savannah.
$15 assembled, 13 unassembled.
Oh, $13. So $2,600. Why am I not in that group? That's what I need to be in.
Beekeeping, buy, sell, trade, North America.
Beekeeping, buy, sell, trade, North America. Well,
here's a Dakota uncapper. You don't need one of them. That's a frail machine. Here's an antique Walter Kelly. Oh, there's let's see, Kevin Archer selling out. Message me.
There's a guy in Albertville, Alabama, selling 10 frame deep hives for $250. Guy selling a swarm in Hickory for $275. Guy selling a Larabi's vaporizer, the old style, and a power inverter for $325.
So anyway, don't want to bore everybody.
There's a guy in Cologne, Minnesota, selling a licensed 13-gallon heated bottling tank. He upgraded to the 36-gallon for $750. He paid $850 for it last year.
What kind? What year or what is it? What
License.
Yeah.
It's like mine. It's just smaller.
Oh.
It's a 13-gallon. So you can put 2 5-gallon buckets in there at a time.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a Castleton, Vermont, Maxant filter box, right?
Yeah, I've seen that. I don't quite understand what that's for, but
you load your honey in it, and I think it's got that basket in there, and I think you cover it with your mesh, and then it runs through that mesh, and kind of like a
clarifier.
Clarifier, yeah. But yeah, I'm actually in that group, but I don't see notifications from it for some reason.
I don't get notifications. I just look at it occasionally.
You just look at it occasionally?
Yeah. I sent I had no problem, Mike. I sent Lynn I figured out how to share it and sent her a text message. Mr. Ed was comparing Maxant, Hilco, and that one that you got, Trevor or whatever it's the
Vivor, the Vivor one. Mm-hmm.
She's been looking for extractors and
whatever. But if you look at them, he also gives the price of each of them. And the price variance is so much different for all three of those items, right? So the Maxant and the Hilco were the most expensive ones, but they didn't do any more frames than the Vivor one did. So it just depends, I guess what you want at the end of the day.
We're not shopping for anything. We're just kind of looking around. Mm-hmm. I know a friend of mine up here, she wants to buy a extractor maybe for next year, but I don't know. There was some difference opinion in the family there. You're getting into the business, and I'm like, well, if I look at it this way, it's like anything that you get into, whether it be woodworking or you have to buy tools in order to do the hobby. Not saying that you have to go out and spend a ton of money, but there is a certain amount of certain expenditures.
Right.
Well, hey, did you watch Ian's latest taking the kid to the bus stop?
No, I didn't see that one.
Yeah, well, he's drinking a cup with an old Scottish looking bee on there.
Oh, James McNally's cup.
Yeah.
That's funny. I was hoping that James would jump in here.
Yeah, he might be. It's still early for him.
Steve-O dropped a new video.
Is James still over there at Brad's place?
No, I think he went back home. I don't know that to be the case because I haven't really talked to him. Last time I talked to James, I mean, I did talk to him for a minute, but he said he was working his bees, so I don't know, if he's in his yard or still down there with Brad. I know they went and saw Ian.
Did they see it? I figured they did because Ian had the cup. That was one of his things he wanted to do.
And
I think Ian's quite interested in
some of the techniques that he's using.
Some of the techniques type of thing.
I do now. I see on Lynn's group. See, I can't post anything in there.
What's that?
In that group, it's like locked down where you can't make posts.
Who's that?
Greater Baltimore Beekeepers group. I can comment on stuff that Lynn posts, but I can't post anything, which is kind of funny because she has to preview to get in. So if you're in, then
I can post in there.
Well, you might be an admin or something in there. I
don't
can't.
think so.
So if I go to the group,
I did see where you.
Oh, now I can. Now I can. She might have changed something since the last time I tried to post something in there. See your Hive Butler.
She printed a bunch of stuff, and I told her, I said, to go to Hilco, you get it cheaper there.
Yeah, you do get a little bit cheaper right there.
I don't know. Hilco, I mean, they got some nice looking, sturdy looking extractors. I just don't like the plastic baskets in there. I mean, that reminds me of what was that outfit down in Virginia? It went broke.
Sivan?
No, they were out of the Carolinas, and they were the first
Brushy Mountain.
Brushy Mountain. That's it. They were the first ones to go broke after that new guy took over. Well, he went out and he got him, I think it was a $2 million loan. And it was like part of it was, like a grant, like $1 million grant plus. And he went out and bought a bunch of used frame equipment to make frames. And, he bought a bunch of junk machinery that was wore out, that didn't work. And he, to me, he was building a new building and it's going to set up woodenware and all this different stuff. And, you can't, sometimes you can't, get into stuff like that. It's not cost effective. And from what I gather, it was out in the middle of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
And, he really needed a storefront on some main highway down there. But didn't happen. And he went and I guess what it amounts to is like all those things. Here comes like Man Lake right now. They've got all these here. They got this, what do you call it? Investment company coming in, and all they're looking for is profit. They don't give a darn about the company or whether it survives or anything else. It's whether or not can we make a big profit off of somebody else. And that's and that's what happened to Brushy Mountain, from what I gather. Because they died.
Well, I
grew too fast, too big.
I like talking about equipment and stuff. That's kind of, I don't know. I find it interesting. However, it's one of those things. If you're beekeeping, you need equipment, and finding, even if it's not extraction equipment, it's bee boxes, frames.
Well, what was it last night? Mark Miller said that he had ordered, I think, 10
boxes from Man Lake, and it took him a couple of months to get 10 boxes.
Yeah.
So it's,
and now the story behind all that is that there was a company out, I'm going to say Washington State. It was called Shastina. And it was a family-owned company, and they made deeps and medium boxes. I mean, I'm talking, they were getting a tractor and trailer load of lumber in a week and cutting it up and making boxes. And then the way I understood it, I think I heard it, was that they could set the line up just to run deeps, and then they would set the line up to run mediums and stuff like that. And there was I guess a warehouse full of boxes and stuff, and that kind of thing. And I think one of the members of the family said, hey, we need to buy equipment to run the two different size boxes simultaneously, to get the production out. And the other family's member voted him down on, oh no, it's more important to us to have a cushy office building than it was to be able to mass produce a product.
Right.
And that's how that went down. Then in the meantime, I think somehow this investment group that owns Man Lake, they went out there and bought them out. So Man Lake owns a box making company or an investment group or whatever it is and all that. But the one son, I think, from the original family stayed there to run the place for a while. I guess it was part of the deal. And I don't know what's happened to it now, whether or not they've quit or just what and all that. But that was, it just then they got into check, of course everybody they're gonna make more money with chickens than they are the beekeepers. And the one warehouse up in Pennsylvania I've been to, they used to have beekeeping equipment all over the place up there that you could look at. Now they have little to none, and everything is about a chicken. And I watched enough homesteader video content creators that I forget what the chicken company that they bought out, but everybody who buys chickens or any type of, bird, they always go to Murray McMurray.
Right.
Every one of them says Murray McMurray, Murray McMurray. And I'm like, you bought yourself a second rate company as far as I'm concerned.
Trying to compete.
Yeah, they were going to try to compete with Murray McMurray. And from what I could gather from all these other YouTubers out there that are into the farming thing, they're not going to their company. They're going to go to McMurray.
Well, do they do a lot of advertising for that? I had never seen anything but beekeeping stuff.
If you go to, if they have these homesteader big conferences, like we have the bee conferences, you'll see them out there.
Man Lake.
Yeah, Man Lake will be there. Yeah. And I know one guy who bought some eggs or something or another, and he had a 50% lossage or more, and he called him up about it. Well, that's, to be expected. He says, he told him you're full of full of it,
Right.
Whereas McMurray, from what I've seen some of these videos, they always send an extra one or two chicks or whatever. Let's say it's chickens, they'll send them a couple extra chicks, stuff like that.
Spanky's been using his those warming cabinets he got from the college that they were throwing out, and those things decrystallize the honey pretty good. He sent me a bunch of pictures. Those big cabinets that he's got. He's got
What's
two of them.
From a cafeteria type place?
No, they got them out of a lab. They were like lab warmers that they were using to dry something out.
Yeah.
But he's able to set it for like 100 degrees or something like that. And I think it goes even higher than that. But it did, it worked well.
That's what if you can buy something like that. That's like, I think Ian, he showed those incubator he has. It's a pretty big incubator, but it was, I think it was secondhand. He got it from somebody. That's what,
I see that Cooks and Beals now, but I see it on a different page. Somebody put it over there. It's in Ohio.
What is it?
$3,500, 120 frame extractor.
What's it all right?
Extractor. That's not a bad deal if you can get to Ohio. Looks like he's got uncapping. He's got looks like pretty much a whole line almost, but he's upgraded to a newer line.
What's it under Facebook?
Yeah, on Facebook.
What's it?
Out in the barn though. So
yeah, but what's the group called?
It's in New Plymouth, Ohio. Hold on. Buy, sell beekeeping equipment. Serious buyers. It says, I got this extractor and was planning to expand, never set it up. Prior owner replaced his line. It was working when he upgraded. Has air ram, no uncapper or wax separator. So the air ram, is that the piece that drags the frames in?
Yeah.
Whoop. My wife just sent me a thing. What do I need to look at? Coin.
Oh, there it is. Okay. Yeah, it looks old. Looks like a lot of rust.
Been out there for a moment.
Yeah. Along with a sprayer buggy right next door to it. I think he must have bought that thing used sometime.
Yeah, he bought it used, it said. Looks like he's got all the whole line sitting next to it.
Yeah.
But it doesn't act like he's selling the whole line.
Now here's if you scroll down below that, it says this guy's in Chantilly, Virginia, which is right outside of DC area. It's $22 for looks like a pint of chunk honey, which is still kind of low. Now here we go. I think it's the same guy. Yeah, it is. He's got combed honey. It looks like a 4x4 square, $22 a piece.
In the same group?
Yeah. Annandale or Chantilly, Virginia.
Here's Ontario for our Canadian people. Vaughan, Ontario. Brand new with 10 frames. Deep honey deeps. It says. He's got 8 boxes of black foundation and another 8 with yellow. Let's see, how much does he want? $4.70 for a medium frame. 18, you get them for $4 a frame. I'm assuming that's Canadian. Medium box with 10 frames. Where's the deep price? We don't. Oh, maybe it says honey deeps, but then it says medium 10 frame boxes. So I don't know. It looks like he's got a stack of mediums, new mediums. Maybe he ordered mediums on accident and got them in. So, Chuck, how many pounds have you taken and estimated on how many to go?
I've taken in 200 and count what's in that other bucket, 280 pounds of honey so far. I'm hoping for 800 pounds. I got another, I'm estimating 28 more boxes out there that should be something in there. There's 2 more boxes, but that is probably I had put 5 boxes on the hives that they look like to me they would draw wax, but they haven't. So I'm hoping for 800.
Lohman Apiaries in California has queens available from $23 to $26 a piece. Carniolans, Italians, and Carniolan hybrid. Says. Nukes in Ohio. Nukes in California. Looking for 100 nukes. 100 nukes at $100 a piece. That's what he wants. So what's that? $10,000 worth of nukes out in Esparto, California. So if you're on Facebook and you're not in some of these groups, you could find a little bit of kind of what's going on in the market, maybe even in around your area. And get an idea. Get an idea of what's going on near you. Jefferson, Georgia, pending wax spinner. I would have bought that son of a biscuit eater. I have 2 small units that have been used very little.
What are they, Max Ant?
This looks like a Max Ant spinner for $1,250. And he got a Cowan line. And it looks like that he's got I don't know what kind of line that is. Doesn't look like Lyson.
Yeah. Yeah. Paul, yeah, I do have 12 hives. Single brood chamber management. Yeah, that's what it amounts to. But this year, there was some queen issues in several of my hives that I marked a bunch of queens, and I figured, well, that's it's going to be easier to find them, and about 90% of them either were killed or died or done something, and I didn't, I made sure I didn't hit any antennas or anything else, and then we also had about a month or two of dry weather here while the hunting season was on. Usually that's good, because usually it rains when the locust bloom hits. So, if it, it's just kind of the way it is. Every year is different. It's farming.
Oh, I see that Virginia when you're talking about $22. That looks like that's not a pint, though, I don't think. But yeah, they've got
Now Keith there got 500 pounds so far after 6 hives, and that's where I should be at.
I don't know what I'm going to end up with. As long as I end up with more than last year, I guess I'll be happy. Oh, wow. I knew somebody would buy that quick.
What's that?
A Cowan handheld. It's basically my uncapper, but it's made by Cowan. And it doesn't have the steamer, which is $75, right? It's in Missouri, $500. So that ain't bad. Yeah, there's a Date Ant 32 frame extractor. Where's this at? Oh, it's sold. Yeah, go figure. Extraction line, honey extracting equipment, extractor and uncapper. $5,000 for that one. He had a Cowan mini uncapper with new electric knives. Jacketed clarifying tank with controller, lids, and heater for $1,000. Doesn't say anything about a pump, though. So yeah, there's all kinds of stuff for sale over there.
Yeah, Paul said he got 400 pounds off of 4 hives last year. He must have a lot of linden or whatever down in your area.
No, Paul's got tallow.
Ah, is that what it is?
We don't have tallow over here. So I'll be happy with whatever I get. If it's more than last year, I'll be happy.
If I can get 800 pounds, which I got last year, that's more than what we normally get around here. Tallow. Okay. That's why you're getting so much. You guys have a horrendous honey flow down there.
Well, a lot of people are saying they didn't get it like that down there this year.
Well, they said that tallow got burnt and all.
Mannheim, PA.
Hey, Nancy. Good to see you.
Local queens. So there's a lot of stuff happening out there. Just not too much around here other than rain. Other than the rain.
It's been raining here for a day or so, and we need it terribly. But it hasn't been. They're saying rain all the way till next Wednesday. The percentages are high, but it doesn't seem. They had a map on the darn news channel there at lunchtime, and right where I live in the central part of Maryland is a severe drought area.
Well, it was supposed to rain till Tuesday. Then that kind of just went away. Now it's light rain now, and then it should dry up. So,
Keith got 5 inches Monday.
Well, you saw the flood in my front yard yesterday. That has subsided.
I'll see you later, Steve.
And was able to clean that out. 80 hives I could not do. It's only 20 more. It's only 20 more colonies. That's it. What's that? I find that I spent less time in my bees this year with more bees than I had last year. I spent more time last year than I did this year. Right. And, the bad thing is when you go to do something, then you got to do it all. But I'm able to this one's having a problem. I can kind of pick apart what I want to work on at the moment. Of course, I could go out there tomorrow and have 60 swarms in my trees. I mean, it's just, don't know. It's been a low, steady flow. No tallow, huh? Yeah, that's true. If you got that much on that, then you're doing good. And we're not I don't know what I've got out there. I know I've probably got couple hundred, 200-300 more pounds out there probably. Just going by the number of boxes and what I saw last time, but it could change. Just never know. Especially with this rain, right? All the bees are in the house, so that means they're probably consuming it.
Well, I think Sharon there did well as far as I'm concerned. She had queen issues, weather screwed up. I don't know where Sharon lives, but she got 160 out of 2 hives. Well, that's 80 pounds per hive. For me in my area is exceptional.
That's over the average.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's good.
In my area, the average is 50. If you get an 80, that's great. But now you might be like Alex up there where they get 250 per hive.
She's down in Savannah.
Okay.
Georgia. But yeah, I wouldn't complain about that at all myself. If I was getting those kind of numbers. We'll see how it ends up,
Nancy got 400 pounds so far.
Nice. How many colonies is Nancy running now?
Not sure, Nancy. Hey, Nancy, how many colonies are you going now? I think, are you still at 50? Or did you cut back? I know she was trying to cut back, I believe.
I'm working on trying to maintain what I got, but I already know, some of it is going to, you're going to lose some colonies, right? So figure that'll free up some of my gear and I need to buy some more. And, build it back up. I was kind of hoping James would jump in here. James or Brad, neither one of them, they must be busy.
Yeah.
Well, not for nothing. It is the day after solstice, and they said that that's when their
honey hits hard.
Their honey starts hitting. So I'm sure they got plenty going on right now. 30. She's at 30 right now. So have you extracted it all, or you still have more to extract, Nancy? I think I mean that's more than that's double what I've got right now. So that's
Yeah. I mean, I feel for what I've extracted so far, I'm at least 100 pounds short than what I should have had from last year. Just a bunch of different things. Like I say, I think the biggest part was
oh, she's got a total of 800 pounds. So that was her second time extracting. So I've only pulled off last time I pulled only like 17 frames, right? Last 2 weeks ago. But I have a bunch on the colony that wasn't capped up yet. So I could go out there tomorrow and probably, well, it won't be tomorrow, but and pull a bunch and see what I get.
Yeah. My biggest thing was them queens I had to put, I think I had 5 boxes that didn't have queens, and I dropped nukes into them right in the middle of the darn flow. And I lost a lot of worker population.
Right.
And it's wrong time to have queen issues. And so I fixed them. She's got more to pull. And all that, but I don't know. I think it was more so the queen over the weather. I mean, the weather didn't help any. It's like Alex said here a couple of nights ago. If the ground is really high in moisture, and then the trees and whatever plants you're getting your honey from can suck that up, and it will produce more nectar. Right. But the ground here has been like a cement, pad. It's that hard and all.
Well, we don't have any problems with rain right now, that's for sure.
Yeah, you guys have gotten more rain. Now, it was raining like every weekend early spring. I was complaining about that because I couldn't, I'm still a weekend beekeeper for the most part, and couldn't get out there to work them that well.
Right. That's the same here. I haven't, the day job, I mean, last year to this year, like I said, I could go out there every day. And this year, I don't get to go out there every day. And if I do, it's later and they're pissy because it's later or it's overcast,
Well, it was like, I think the 25th of March when I finally got out there to work them to get the single brood chamber management and get the honey supers on and all that stuff. And it took me 3, and I didn't get them all done that day. But on the other hand, looking back at it, and of course, I wasn't expecting the amount of bees that I was getting through because of the apis. Next year, I'll completely work it differently. I want to put, if I can pull the top box off, put the queen excluder on, and then put the honey supers on, multiple honey supers, and put that brood box upstairs. And after shaking the bees off of, make sure the queen's down below. They'll draw all them bees up through them boxes up to that brood. And that way I can go back and check the bottom 2 boxes for the brood and equalize and not have to shake bees, more or less move boxes that have bees in them, be more efficient that way, and be gentler on the bees and stuff. That's my game plan for next year. It's a shame that you have to, it takes you a whole year to get back to, to do something different.
Well, I've put a little bit of apis on them, like when I was feeding earlier in the year. So they will be getting it again this year. So we'll see. I've got the stuff to cut the migratory covers and to put the bottles on. So we're going to be pumping them full again. Try to get them strong, for the spring.
But that's what my plans are.
So are you going to try to do like you were saying, limit the apis, or are you going to give it to them hard?
I'm not sure what to do there. Not sure. I mean, I only gave them, when I was making sugar water, I only made 80 gallons of it. So that was a 40-gallon tank. Will at the time I could fill all the hives, especially the honey hives. I could give them 2 gallons apiece. So they each got 4 gallons of it. And then they also had the spotter and lanternfly honey that was natural in there.
Right.
Which, so I don't know. I'm not sure if you gave them all apis with sugar water in it, is that going to make them go explode?
That's what we want, right?
Huh?
That's what we want, right?
Yeah, but I mean, I'm talking about where they're going to swarm super early or something. They're going to build quicker than normal, or is the weather going to hold them back some?
Right.
I don't know.
Mine did well. I still lost a few colonies, but that turns out to be a queen issue more than anything, I believe. And so I'm thinking I'm going to do it again. I mean, the colonies that I did have that went strong, they went strong. So we're going to try.
Well, from my opinion, over the way I can kind of think about it is when you put apis in there, it takes your sugar water and turns it into nectar because it adds everything what nectar has in it. And it showed me this spring that bees just excel on, when it's got the right nutrients in there.
Right. Yeah. I can't
support to them.
Yeah, I can't complain about it at all because all those colonies seem to do really well. And, my thing is, I don't know what to expect this year because of the rain and the way the flow is kind of just drug out. It's not that hit and be done this year. It's
Now there goes Sharon. Sharon says she started, but now on the other hand, Sharon's in Atlanta, right?
No,
Savannah, Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I'm not sure, Todd. I don't think I did on Apis, but I think that you got to remember one thing. She is a month. For me, the end of March is just when the weather's starting to break. April is everything. Her, I bet you she's a month ahead of me at least.
No. Nope. The
Apis Biologics.
Yeah, Apis Biologics. I mean, for me, my bees get to fly all the time, so there's not really an issue with gut clean out here. All it's doing is adding nutrition to your syrup, your feed, or same thing for the pollen sub, right? It's adding nutrients.
Like I said, Nancy, it puts all the nutrients and enzymes and whatever else is in nectar in your. To me, the best way I explain it turns your sugar water into nectar because it puts all the properties of nectar. It turns that sugar water to that, and they just thrive off of that stuff. But Sharon, I know that you're down in the deep south there, and I've been down there. You guys are in the 70s probably by March. So her spring is probably what? Come 1st of March?
Yeah, Todd says Apis is bee steroids. That's
yeah.
So Morgan
said, all this other stuff is I don't know. You have all these different other products you can buy from what I can see of it. And they talk about gut health. They talk about, probiotics and all this stuff. And it's like, That's not what Apis is. Apis does what you really are looking for.
Morgan said he had plain sugar water on the new colony. They were not taking any. And then when he put sugar water with Apis in it, within 15 minutes, they were on it. Yeah, it's thing is that when you put it, you definitely have to be watching those colonies, right? You definitely have to figure out the the equalization and everything for sure.
Yeah. Now Hive Alive, I don't know a whole lot about it. Is it just for gut health?
Hive Alive, the only thing that everybody seems to harp on with Hive Alive is that it has thymol in it. That's usually the one trait that they say it's supposed, and I watched Cayman, and Cayman was doing a live stream prior to the Hive Life conference, and he was talking about Apis, and he said that it was head and shoulders above everything else on the market. But then I watched him after Hive Life conference, and he did a video on Hive Alive, and he was using the fondant for emergency feed or extra feed for his queen, his mating queen, or his queen that he grafted off of, right? His breeder queen, and he put it in there because it had thymol in it. So I don't know. I'm not that versed in thymol. I know people say it has.
Well, isn't that what Apricot has? Is thymol? That's the active ingredient.
Yeah, that's supposed to help with
the beetles.
With the mites, right?
Yeah, well, that's right. The mites.
So, I mean, I don't know. I guess I don't know that much about it. What I do know, here's what I will say.
Is let me answer Nancy here. Nancy, you say you didn't feed this spring. Well, that's not what when I feed in the fall to get them through winter. And it's like dumping nectar in the hive or feeding them nectar, getting them ready to put it away for spring. And that they seem to explode on it.
That's how Ian does it too, right? Ian and those guys, they feed them up in the fall for spring. But the biggest thing,
well, Morgan area, you don't feed liquid in the wintertime, don't you? I mean, for me here in Maryland, I always feed the week after Labor Day, and I should be done feeding by the 15th of October. So they have time to dehydrate that liquid down so they can cap it off like honey.
And let's say they're both equal. Let's say Hive Alive and Apis are equal. I don't believe they are, but that's my personal opinion. Okay. Let's say they're equal. So the little bottle, the 100 ml bottle of Hive Alive does 11 gallons, right? Enough for 10 or 11 hives. This pack, which costs the same amount as the Hive Alive, does 52 gallons of feed. So the cost per use it's cheaper. It's cheaper. And if Ian puts it on 1,500 hives, there's got to be a reason for it, is all I'm saying. And
now Galloway talking about doing splits. It's June already, and it would be. You might be able to do. I don't know. I never really did any. I mean, you could maybe split right now.
Well, not if it's the splits like you were talking about on that stream that night. If you're making splits this time of year, they got to be strong splits. And you can't do a walk away split, especially like where you're at, I don't think, in New York. You would have to put a mated queen in with them to give them a fighting chance to build up before you guys start getting cold up there.
Yeah, well, see, Sharon, she's feeding in the middle of the wintertime, but she can do that because she's south of you. And
right. I feed in the wintertime.
Right. What I'm getting at is you guys, your climate is totally different. Totally different.
Currently, there is not a West Coast rep for Apis. I did talk to Andrew, and supposedly he's got some things working in there. Bob, they are not. What are they are not? What did I miss? Did I say something that you disagreed with? I don't know. I bet you, hey, Nancy, buy a $25 pack of biocontrol and do a side-by-side Hive Alive and Apis Biologics and let us know.
Morgan says, are they equal? No, they're not equal.
No, that's what I said. If they were equal, which I didn't believe they were, that Apis is cheaper than Hive Alive.
Now, Hive Alive, like you say, is it's reading here tonight. It's my understanding. It's more of a gut health thing.
Yes. And Apis is nutritional. So they're not exactly the same. And Andrew says that too. They're not real. They're like apples and oranges. You could technically use them both and it wouldn't hurt anything. But I'll be upfront. I sell it. So that's why Charlie doesn't sell it. Todd at Loma Vista doesn't sell it. So listen to those guys. Because if you buy it for me, I do make a little profit. I'm not going to say I don't. Charlie can tell you he didn't use Apis till last year, and there was a huge difference of in the buildup.
Yeah, that's what caught me off guard on my first spring video. There was the fact that the bees were from the bottom board to the top. Normally my bees are in the top 2 medium boxes, and the third box on the bottom board is completely empty. Well, I had bees, I mean bees, every box. It was so darn much. And knowing that now, that's why I'm saying how I'm going to rearrange to deal with the amount of bees. I need to rework the way I get into my hive so I can reduce it down to 2 boxes, because I don't want to spill bees over into the grass and stuff like that. So that's what I'm going to do. But yeah, I never thought about that. Nutrition versus
hollow carbs.
More of a medical thing. And all that. And I think that's where Brian from Castle Highs, he had a lot of dead outs and different things. But I think he changed his program a lot. I think he, treating for mites more seriously about it. And he was also nutrition, which was Hive Alive.
Well, that was more of the treat, like a stomach treatment, right? But he grew his colonies this year too. So
yeah, but he was always having, dead outs in the wintertime and different things like that. And maybe because he was traveling so much that he wasn't able to attend to them as
had 4
Sharon,
and they were spilling out of them.
Yeah, they were. Yep. I mean, that stuff is just phenomenal.
Yep. So
yep, you mix it with your sugar water, and it doesn't take much, Nancy. I mix up 40-gallon batches, and I put a tablespoon of this stuff in for 40 gallons. And I think it's a tablespoon, and maybe the smallest measurement, I'll say it's a quarter of a tablespoon. You put that in there. And I said, okay. And now next year, I'll also I'll pre-mix it in a blender or something like that with a quart of water, and then just dump that into the 40 gallons. It mixes better that way. Where I dump the actual powder in that 40 gallon, it does have an agitator in there, but it took quite a while to get it to the mix.
That snake out oil worked pretty good. Tim said, "Yeah, everybody was calling it snake oil at the beginning. Well, not us, but other pages were calling it snake oil and everything else, and it worked really well. You know, it works. It works. I mean, that's all you can say.
Yeah.
And the bees just look better to me. I mean." But then again, I'm a little biased. Yeah, Grammy says it too. Apis will get that brood pumped up for the winter bees for sure.
I think for me around here, you know, the way our winter is that the queen, I won't say does 100% dormant, you know, in the winter about laying eggs, but they'll about the second week in February, you'll start seeing about a 2 or 3 inch diameter brood pattern. I've seen that in there when I've had a warm day, and I'm like, damn, there's some eggs right there. And then another thing is you know, I got some of that global patties with Hive Alive in there. I'm not sure. I bought 10 pounds just to check it out, and I was going to use it on.
I've got an Apis shirt.
Queen rearing, but that never turned out for me between some of my back issues here lately. So, or the last couple months.
Lagrange. Good to see you, Alex. But yeah, I mean, it's you know, we could talk about it and talk about it and talk about it, but unless you try it, you're not going to understand. It's I don't think there's anything else like it currently on the market. And it's just
every you know, and as far as I can tell from my own experience, I haven't tried Hive Alive yet. And there's a whole bunch of other ones that are out there on the markets,
but they all do slightly different things or claim different things. And I've used a lot like Brood Booster. I've used a lot of that stuff in the past, and I didn't notice like a big explosion with some of that stuff. I mean, but maybe I didn't give it long enough. I don't know. But what I will say is that before I started selling Apis, I was one of the first people in the States that were buying it from them. I went solely on the basis of I trusted Ian Stepler. And if Ian Stepler is putting it on 1,500 colonies, there's something to it, because those guys would not spend the extra money. You see that? Phil said he found out last night that raccoons will eat about 30 pounds of patty with Apis in it in one night. And
so Sharon, what did you have used Hive Alive? What did you see? What did it do for you?
Let me see. Yeah, and she says it's expensive. So I mean, it's like I said. Even Andrew said, he just says that it's different. It's apples and oranges, and he doesn't know that much about the company, just like I don't know that much about it. What I will say that and this is a paraphrase, not a direct quote. Well, it kind of is a direct quote, that Kamen had said before Hive Life that he didn't know of anything that was actively found in seaweed that the bees searched for. Now, and with that being said, he also did try, remember those seaweed pollen patties, the
I
green
remember that.
patties. He
I ate
tried
those
those.
green
He's like, the
things.
bees don't like them. And so, I don't know. And so I just can only go off of, what other people say, people that I trust in beekeeping. For me, there's nothing that I say that is that's beneficial for me to lead anybody astray, right? So
Yeah. Now, Sharon says healthier looking bees and no mites. So that's what you got out of the Hive Alive or out of Apis for you, Sharon. Grammy wants to make her own fun. Well, go ahead.
it'd probably be the control, because it's more like the sugar syrup, right? So you're adding it to sugar. The activator is used for pollen sub. And Robert, you being up in Ohio there, those, I'm telling you, you'll see a boost and make it easier on yourself. Matter of fact, I remember before Charlie got the Apis, Charlie said, I don't even think I'm going to put anything on the colonies, because remember you were like, well, I'm not going to use any additives or anything in the feed that you're going to feed.
Yeah, I never have.
And then you got some Apis. You're like, holy crap, it blew up. Oh, okay. So use them both together. And hey, guys, not for nothing, if you watch the stream and you order Apis from my website, you get a 10% discount if you use the code STREAM10 at the checkout. You get a 10% off just for being a viewer. Of course, that's only in the USA, so it's you get a little bit of savings on it. And I've got a ton of it. Metric ton. Well, not quite a metric ton, but I've got this many small packs sitting here, coming into the feeding season here. And you guys are going to see my junky room. But all those black packs are also Apis. The middle one is the big packs, which, hey, I'm a proponent for the bigger pack, because it's more expensive, but you're getting more product. So,
now you're talking about the pouch that I bought the pouch that can do, what is it, 260 gallons?
Apis. Oh, the big one does 265 gallons. Yeah, 59 bucks, $60 for
$60.
$60
versus 25.
Yeah, 25 does 52. So you're getting
for $30
for twice as much money. You're getting 5 times as much product. So there you go.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on how many colonies you have and how much you're feeding and all that stuff. And all.
Let me see. No, Stream 20 doesn't work. Stream 10 works though. Let me see if Hive steal it. My small Apis fed colony replaced 4 dead outs and has 2 deeps left. Hey, that's pretty good, Frank. If you fed up the Apis on the one colony and were able to split and replace dead outs, that's a good deal.
Now, Shane or Ziggy, you fed it. You don't have no Zima. Okay. I've never had it either.
But it's follow the directions, guys. Don't go all willy-nilly, because if you do, Grammy, and accidentally OD your bees.
So you think your bees look stronger or feel stronger, but did you see any physical explosion of the amount of bees that it's like, it's not the bees, the queen just goes, bonkers.
It kicks her in. kicks her in. Hey, is this the big bag you are looking for, sir? This is for pollen sub. So it does 600 pounds of pollen patties, or 600 pounds. Yeah. So if you're a commercial guy and need, you make your own pollen patties, there's 600 pounds of Apis Biologics patties right here. I've only got one. That's all I could afford to stock. So you mean if it's not? I'll never live that down. I've got several packs. Matter of fact, every time I order, it's like I order more. I don't even think I profit, to be honest with you, on Apis, and I'll tell you why. Because every time I sell out, I order twice as much. So it's like I just keep putting the money back into it.
Yeah, Nancy, that's what I do. I do 2 to 1. It's not actually. It's a little less than 2 to 1 because my pump can't pump 2 to 1 on my tank, but it's close to it. Mm-hmm. Like I say, and then I don't know. I have the calculations here someplace where I figured out. Okay, that's the biggest complaint, and I think a couple guys. I think Brian from out in Colorado said you need to change your packaging. You need to put English measurements on there.
Imperial measurements
instead of the damn Celsius stuff.
So if you want to know what the measurement is per gallon, is about 1/8 of a teaspoon per gallon. 1/8. So for 10 gallons, I use about, and I don't weigh it. What I do is I take a tablespoon, like a regular tablespoon, not a tablespoon measuring cup, but I take a tablespoon and I put about half of one of those on there. And I dump that in a mason jar, put some water in it, and I shake the crap out of it and dissolve it. And then I just split it into my batch because I do a lot of open feeding. So it's all going to be mixed together anyway. 2.05 grams per 5 gallons. There you go.
But that doesn't really tell me anything.
Blaine says he weighs it because it makes him feel more like a drug dealer. And I can put some shades on and crank up the music when I cut the Apis.
What's he do? Put it on a mirror and cut it with a razor blade?
You guys are something else. But, you know, hey, it's a Canadian company. So, you know, it's like I'm glad we can get it down here. Glad we can get it. And if you want your local store to carry it and you're on the East Coast, have them contact me and I can get them hooked up because I am the guy. I am one of the guys. Tim is the other guy, Southwest Ohio Bees. So we can definitely make it happen. And Bohemia Bees carries it. He's got some. He doesn't carry a bunch in stock. He carries a little bit. My website, I've got tons of it. So, matter of fact, I probably have more than what the site actually says, but I don't run out. I can just update it as I get low. Let me see. I've seen larger than normal brood in March, and the amount of bees is just 6 frames 2 deeps. Charlie had a video. That video, you did a video on it, didn't you, Charlie? When you came into spring with the amount of bees that you had in the box.
Yeah, 2023. I mean, there were just bees everywhere. I was just kind of overwhelmed, to be quite honest with you. And like I say, normally all the years prior to, I was doing single brood chamber for at least 2 years. This is my third, I think. All the bees would be up in the top 2 boxes. I'd take and pull the bottom medium out. I'd drop the 2 boxes down and go through the hive and check the brood, how many frames, how many cap brood frames there were. queen excluder, honey supers, and that was it. No big deal. This year, it was just more bees than you could possibly think of in every box. I mean, and I was trying to do the same procedure and trying to go through the brood frames and all that, kind of like a hive inspection and everything else complete. And poor poor idea on my part. I should, if I'd have known what I know now, I mean, I'm going to completely, because of the volume of bees, completely do it differently. I'm going to try to get the honey supers on there, try to get the bees to get up, by bringing a top brood box, shake all the bees off.
Get them up there quicker.
Well, what I want to do is I want to take that top brood box off. I know there's going to be brood in that top, knock all the bees down into the bottom too. Don't separate them or anything. Queen excluder, 2 honey supers, brood box up on top. Let them and draw them bees out of those 2 bottom boxes up into those 3 boxes. And that way I can move boxes instead of shaking bees so damn much. So that's what I'm going to try to do.
I see Todd said he does single brood chamber management. When I used Apis this year, I ran out of boxes. We'll be ready next year, though.
Honey boxes, or what was it?
Out of brood boxes for single brood chamber.
Yeah, because I know he had a lot of what do you call it? Rain out there at the time, and it just all that stuff. I was going to try to find measurements for this stuff.
For what?
Mix and feed and all that stuff.
I do a lot of open feeding though, so.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm feeding.
Maybe I just need to do a spreadsheet. I need to go ahead and just do a Excel spreadsheet that calculates the calculates the conversions.
I don't know. I thought I wrote it down someplace. I always try to print it out and all that stuff.
Well, Charlie, we live tomorrow night?
Yeah.
Friday night?
I'm Friday night. Yep.
The Blaine, I may not feed Apis next year. I'll fall feed them, but I'm scared to spring feed again. I have a full-time job. That is a for sure thing. Oh, Boonville, Indiana, Dogwood Ridge Bees had their license dealer. I got to figure out how these guys are doing license or becoming license dealers. They're obviously having to go through Better Bee to do it.
What's that?
Become licensed authorized dealers.
We'll go through the company, I guess.
No, because on their site it says in the U.S. you got to contact Better Bee. But Better Bee, I've tried to contact them on some things, and like my swarm lure and stuff like that, and it's hard to get somebody. And when you call, you get like I guess like a sales department,
Right.
But hey guys, we're straight up 10 o'clock.
Are we quitting?
We will be quitting shortly.
Yeah, I was trying to find that.
Well, Phil, all you got to do is come down and buy my uncapping tank, and then you can just buy the uncapper and bolt it on there. You just got to drive 12 hours to get here or whatever it is. 13 hours. I went to a church today, and this church was a restaurant building that they remodeled, right? And I was thinking the whole time I'm walking through there, they have this big commercial kitchen with walk-in coolers and everything. I'm like, man, this would be a perfect honey house because it's already set up for doing, getting the, I guess, up to code. Yeah, you can buy just the uncapper part. It's like $2,500. So for $800 extra, you get the uncapping tank with the rollers on it. Of course, that was after I bought mine. So now I've got two uncapping tanks. And what you doing over there, Charlie?
I can't find nothing.
I
guess I'll have to take and recalculate it out. And I thought I always put that on the computer, but I must not have. And it's probably laying around here someplace. Who knows?
No, I'm not upgrading, Michael. I've got what I need. One reason I'm kind of trying not to expand anymore at the moment because I'm trying to figure out if I'm going to buy a property. And if I'm going to buy a property, I don't know if I'm going to have to do any financing. And if I spend all my capital, then it'll be hard to get that financing. So he's trying the metric conversions, I think. Charlie's trying to do B math.
Yeah, but I sat down there and calculated on that stuff for I don't know how long. And
well, if you know how much you got to add to a gallon, and you know what the like a teaspoon is or a tablespoon is in.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh no, I didn't. What was it?
What's that?
Philip said, speaking of cappings, did you see my question? Michael, do you have to close and reopen for the likes to update? Yep, probably. You have to. I don't know what we got for likes. What do we got for likes? I'm showing 34. Let me redo here. Now it's showing a commercial. 35 likes. Yeah, our humidity, we were at 94%. Of course, it's been raining. 38. 37 is what I'm showing. Now to be, I just hit it. I didn't hit it on my screen over there, so we should get one more out of that. But at any rate, guys, that's kind of what we're talking about today. Don't forget to come to Charlie's channel tomorrow night. He always has an interesting chat. And he usually has like special people that come on. I just got like Charlie, the not so special people. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, I mean, you know, to let everybody know out there that's listening in, I mean, I'm on here a lot with Bob for the fact that, you know, it's very difficult to sit here by yourself and just read the comment section and try to talk to the comments. And it's so much nicer to
well, there's also a delay that you're dealing with too. So
right.
like when you guys post, it might be 10 seconds before we see it. Then we answer, then you're waiting 10 seconds before you see it. And it's like there's a lot of dead time. And
yeah.
So
but anyway, it helps to have somebody else here to talk and all that kind of stuff. And so that's why I come on and I try to help out Bob and all
I
that.
do the same thing.
And then he also comes on my chat, and sometimes he's delayed, like me here lately because of the honey situation. But luckily somebody else like last night came on and helped him out by coming on and giving somebody to talk to.
So Philip, my cappings have been draining over a week, almost 2 weeks now. And they're still and honey's still coming out. Now, James, what he did is he bought one of those fruit presses for a couple $100, and he takes his whole bag with his cappings in it, and he puts them in that press and presses them out. And he says he gets a lot more out of there. Yeah. I have Sam. I haven't talked to Sam since he was here. I don't think I've talked to him. And yeah, he does do a lot of videos, but he also does primarily nukes, but he does a good job at it. His videos, he doesn't edit them too much. He just kind of posted up the some milky honey. Yeah, it's probably the air in the press. I want to get one of those, but I'm kind of on a spending freeze right now. I just paid my car taxes, so.
Yeah, that was a bite.
Yeah, so that I could have bought an everything BVAC, Tim, and a Larabi's vaporizer for what I paid on my car taxes. But anyway, guys, we're going to call it for tonight, and we'll see you tomorrow night over on Charlie's stream.
Yep.
And we will be there 8:00 Eastern Standard Time. And we appreciate all you guys. Remember, if you want to buy Apis or whatever else from my site, Lee used to have it up there, but most of you guys know it. But you can go to www.bewares.co, not .com, and that should take you. But if it doesn't, you can go to www.bewares.bigcartel.com, and then use stream 10 on the checkout screen, and you will get a 10% discount. So anyway, guys, have a good night. We'll see you tomorrow over on Charlie's channel, and thanks for hanging out with us. Good night.